Hello. Today we are going to be talking through all of the wonderful and aesthetically pleasing features of the MLA format. All right. So we're going to start here at the top of your paper. And probably the first thing that you should do is add a header. First of all, you'll notice we're in Microsoft Word. That's Mr. Gibbons' favorite. And it's highly functional. So everything you can do here, you can do on Google Docs. If there's some part of the MLA format that doesn't work exactly the same way as it works in Microsoft Word, you're welcome to look that up on the internet because I bet the answer is found there. But the thing that you need to remember is that your document, whether you've done it in Word or Docs, should look just like this. So to input a header in Microsoft Word, we're going to double click. All right. You may or may not remember that you need a page number. If you type in the page number, let's go to the right-hand side here. Let's say you type in a page number. That same page number is going to appear on every single page, unfortunately. So let's watch this here. Oh, my word. Now we're on the second page, but it still says page 1. You don't want that. So you solve that problem by using an automatic page number. Up here, you'll see page number. You want it at the top of the page on the right-hand side. And once that's in, we can safely type in our last name. All right. For the purposes of this video, though, let's not use a real last name because that's going to become confusing in just a second. Let's say our last name is Yanstudant. Okay. That makes total sense. Okay. Next, you may or may not recall, comes the heading. Do you know what goes on the top line of the heading? That's right. It's your name. All right. So we'll put Yanstudant right there. Perfect. That looks great. On the next line of the heading, do you know what appears? That is also correct. It's the teacher's name. Way to go. The third line. Now the degree of difficulty is increasing. What class goes on the third line? So just say it out loud. Some sort of verbal response is appropriate right now. Okay, so Honors English 2. That's the course that you're in. Looks great. And on the bottom line goes the date. Now, I don't know if you remember this, if you've ever been told this or not, but that date should be formatted in a slightly unusual way. It should go date. Let's imagine that it's the 10th. Then the month. Let's imagine that it's October. And then the year. Let's imagine that it is the year 2022. There should be no punctuation of any kind in that last line. Now, those of you who are really attentive students and devotees of the MLA format will have already noticed that something is not right, that the spacing is not correct. Spacing should be double spaced. So right now, we have single space. There's a really clever hotkey for this. Watch this. You're going to be really impressed. So Control A highlights everything. And then Control 2, boom, double spaces it. Did you see that? Control 1, single space. Control 2, double spaced. Oh, my word. What a dream. What a shortcut. What a life. Okay, next. And this isn't actually for a grade, but you want to impress your teacher, you know what I mean? And as such, you should have a title for your paper. Title goes here. You know what you should not title your essay? You should not title it essay. That would be extremely lame. You should also not title it rough draft, because hopefully the thing that you're turning in will be a final draft, not a rough draft. And we want the polish that's associated with the final draft. So let's see here. If I were writing an essay, let's say a harsh, real truth, Dover Beach, and the world of Fahrenheit 451. Okay, now this provides me an opportunity. Using the word Fahrenheit 451 provides me the opportunity to remind you of the fact that Fahrenheit 451 is a book, not a short story, and so it should be italicized. You could underline it, but nowadays when you're doing all of your papers, On a computer, italics is what the titles of long work should get. You may also notice that Dover Beach is in quotation marks. That's because it's a poem, and poems get put in quotation marks. Okay, so there's our title. That's great. It's centered. And then we're going to tab over and start our first paragraph here. So we've covered the header, the heading, the spacing. I have my default margins set to 1 inch. You want to be sure that your margins are also set to 1 inch. If they are not, you can adjust them right up here, sliding them left and right. See how that changes the margins. Sometimes Microsoft Word defaults to margins that are 1.25 inches. You want that to be a perfect square, 1 inch down, 1 inch over, just like that. Now, we're going to get into the body of the paper here so I can model for you how to do a parenthetical citation. Okay, so the first thing that should happen is an attention-getting step. So let's say, wham! Look at the extent to which this essay is grabbing your attention. Attention, nice. You would never do this at this point, but I need to show you how to embed a concrete detail. So we've got the attention getting step, and then let's say we're going to quote some evidence. So I'll just kind of open up a book here, and we'll see here that I'm reading a quotation, and it says, one person said to another that it was a good thing to remove the scene of so many lovely lies. Okay, now pay attention to what happens next. We've closed the quotation mark off. And as we've done that, I just can't help but point out that this is exactly what I mean when I say an embedded quotation. Notice the lead in here. I wrote those words, and then we have the quotation beginning here. So we don't have a dumped quotation, which is good. Then we're going to press space, open parentheses, and then what goes in the parenthetical citation you're asking, I'm so glad you asked. It's the author's last name. This quotation comes from a guy named Rick Bragg, and then the page number. This comes from page 37. You'll notice the complete lack of punctuation, of weird abbreviations. There's no PG period. There's no word page. There's no comma. It's just the author's last name and the page number. Okay. Now, technically, the rule is that you only have to use the author's last name the first time. If I use a parenthetical citation after that and the author hasn't changed, then I don't have to keep using it. But I think it's really good practice to do that. If you're a prompt 4 person writing about Postman's argument and you quote from the essay that we read together last week, you would put just the author's last name, just Postman, because there's no page number. And then that will also need to appear in your works cited page, which is going to be the sequel of this incredible video that I hope you've enjoyed watching so much.